Good morning. Today we're going to play with strengthening the hips, so that involves strengthening the muscles. So we're going to be doing some reps in contracting those and then also stretching places that are usually tight for most of us. So we'll play with both the stretching and the strengthening to help have a well-balanced caboose. All right, let's start though with our breathing exercise. And today, let's go ahead and do Nadi Shodhana. So that's the alternate nostril breathing. We'll plug off one nostril and exhale. Inhale. And after each inhale, we're going to switch, plug off the other nostril. Exhale. Inhale. Switch. Out, in, switch is the pattern. Go ahead and take it at your own pace. After your next exhale, come back to the natural breath. All right, let's play with our rib cage for a moment. We're going to push it around in a circle. You might notice that there are certain places that feel a little sticky or even just kind of slide over them. Your body doesn't want to push into those sides. As long as it doesn't hurt, I encourage you to slow down. Go ahead and switch directions now. Slow down and encourage the body to find that movement again. All right, take the arms open wide. Rotate the shoulders back, so it's like you're trying to show off your armpits to someone. And then round it in. Open it up. Round it in. Traditionally, this is done with the inhale with the heart lift. And an exhale with a rounding of the spine. We'll do one more. And end with it up and back. We'll take those arms up high overhead. And think about the shoulders going up and then down and back. Feel that difference. So we've got up, we've got down and back. This is going to be where they mostly are, is this down and back position. Let's go ahead and take the hands down behind us. We're going to pad the floor, warming up the fingers and wrists. And then walk the hands back. And we're going to play with the elbows. So the elbows are reaching towards each other constantly. They're not anywhere near touching, but they're reaching towards each other. And we're going to play with bending and straightening. Maybe play with a little side to side in there. All right. Then take your feet hip width apart, flat on the ground. Press down through the feet to lift the tail. And back down. So we're starting that engagement of the tail and still finding probably a little bit of stretch in here. Now traditionally, go ahead and go up and down at your own pace. Traditionally, this move is done with the head completely dropped back. If you want to do that, that's fine. Bring your head back very slowly and very controlled. This stretch here is quite nice, but you don't want to pinch things back here, and going slow is the way to go on that one. All right, let's take those ankles and cross them in front. Stick your tail out back as far as you can. And lean your navel forward. So we've got a very straight, almost arched back. Pull the navel forward. And go as far as you can. Maybe your hands are helping. My elbows are naturally trying to pull into my knees for me to help pull my spine away from my tail. And then allow your chin to come forward and your spine to round forward. Head is reaching towards the floor. Bring the arms over to one side. You might notice the back hip wanting to rise up off the ground. Encourage it back down. And the other side. Bring yourself back to the center, and you'll probably notice that your forehead will get closer to the floor this time. Bring yourself on up. Now notice which ankle was in front. If you're right-handed, your right leg was probably in front, but maybe not always the case. But remember which shin was in front. We're going to take both legs out in front of us. Wiggle the feet. Lean forward, again with that really long spine. Go about as far as you can go. Put your hands on the mat, or if you need blocks, feel free to use those. Bring your knees up to your belly. So I'm gluing myself to my thighs. Now chances are, because my hamstrings got disengaged from the knees, now I can go a little bit further. So I'm going to start squishing or start sliding my feet back out where they were, but I'm going to keep my torso with my thighs. My legs still are not totally straight, and that's okay, because I have my torso on my thighs. Knees and feet are together. Don't let the knees go out wide. And let it go. Now we're going to put the other shin in front. So if you're right-handed, it's probably your left one. And again, we've got this navel pulling towards the floor. And then wheel round. Take it over to one knee. And the other. Back to the center. And make your way back up to sitting. All right, let's take those feet side by side again. Our hands can support us behind again. This time we're going to take the knees left and right. Just getting some range of motion in those hips. All right, go ahead and drop the knees over to the left and sit up. So you might have a little bit of stretch through here. We're going to turn away a little bit so you can support yourself. And we're going to try to lift that back foot. Go and take some reps here. Lift and lower. Now, if the foot doesn't come off the ground, that's okay. Try to pull it off the ground so there's a little bit less weight on the foot. Hold that for preferably 10 full seconds before letting go. All right, now go ahead and stretch that leg way back behind you. Maybe it keeps a little bit of a bend in the knee, or maybe you turn that kneecap completely down towards the floor. So we have another opportunity for a big stretch in the glute. You might feel it in the inner thigh as well. All right, we're going to get really strong, really lengthened through the core. I want you to especially focus on the belly area. Pull that belly in, lower yourself down. So my hands are on the ground, but I don't really need them. And then again, I'm not really going to use my hands. I could pick them up if I wanted to, but you can use your hands if you need. But we're going to go down and up. Excellent. Hands on the ground, lift the heart. Make your way up to being on your shin. Tuck your tail under so you feel more stretch in the front of your hip here. All right, let it go. We're going to take our knees to the other side. So again, we have this foot lifting and lowering. And go ahead and rotate towards your front knee. The back leg goes long, maybe totally straight. I'm going to flip around so my knees on my mat. My knees don't like the hardwood floor. Stretch into that hip. All right, again, as little hands as possible. We're going to lower down towards the floor and lift. Lots of navel engagement all around the belly. Last one. Up as high as you can with your back. Then let your arms assist. Come Come up on the shin. Tuck the tail, so we're pressing into the front of this hip a little more. And take it back to sitting on both heels. If your knees don't appreciate this much bend in them, feel free to put a couple of blocks or bolster between your legs just so that you end up sitting a little higher and there's a little less bend in your knees. With that said, we're going to, wherever your lowest position is with your tail, do that. We'll take our arms up, and again, we've got that retracted position of the shoulder blades going down. We're going to press down with the shins and squeeze our caboose so that we come up. Now right here, I'm feeling my tail tuck under, but I'm also feeling my belly engaged. So I'm not arched, I'm not back. I'm totally balanced here. And then I'm going to sit back down with control. Excellent. This time we're going to stay up. We're going to take our right leg in front. Push the hips forward, lunge into that knee. Now press back so the leg is straight. We're going to keep our foot on the ground. So notice how your foot's wanting to roll the arch up. Press it down instead. We'll take our whole torso forward, stretching the top of the leg, stretching the hamstring. My supporting knee is a little bit more tender, so I'm going to roll the mat up to double it. So I've got just a little bit more cushion under there. Feel free to put as much cushion under that knee as makes it feel supported. All right, so go ahead and bring your torso back up. Bend your knee just a little bit. And I want you to feel your back leg trying to push your hips forward and your front leg trying to push your hips backwards. So just play with that for a minute, letting one knee win a little bit more than the other. There you go. So they've got a good kind of tug of war going there. I want you to feel that kind of engagement as we let the back leg win, okay? Let the back leg win, come forward. It's working hard to win, but it is going to win, okay? And now we're gonna let the front leg win, but that doesn't mean that the back leg isn't giving it a run for its money. Come forward through the torso. Torso up, back leg is gonna win, barely. Front leg takes it back. We'll do that 2 more times. All right. Go ahead and sit back on either either your bolster, your blocks, or your heel. We're gonna pull our toes up and lean forward over the leg, big hamstring stretch. Now, if you're hypermobile or have trouble with hyperextending knees, I want you to put your fist under your knee for this so that you're not hyperextending it, okay? All right, let's come back to on both shins, seated either on your heels or your prop. And again, we'll take the arms up, drop those shoulders back, lift, and lower. Last one, we'll stay up at the top. Perfect. We'll take the second leg around in front for a big lunge. Let yourself feel that stretch through the hips. And then push the leg straight, foot stays glued to the ground. My hip is trying to reach back while my arch is trying to reach down, and my navel is trying to rest next to my thigh. All right, bring it forward, torso up. We're gonna find that tug of war, that push back and forth where both legs are contracting. Okay, and then make it bigger. Let the back leg win. And let the front leg win. Make it fight for every inch though. Go ahead and take these at your own pace. Last one. All right, let's come back to both shins on the ground. Oh, excuse me. I was gonna go in front. We're gonna come back and stretch this way. So this time we're gonna curl those toes up, get a good stretch for the calf muscles. Again, support the knee if needed. Hinge forward. up to hands and knees. And I'm going to teach you one of my least favorite moves because it's one of the areas I'm the weakest and it hurts. But it hurts in one of those ways that lets me know that I probably need to do it more. Not a you're damaging yourself, but a I really don't like doing that, so I usually don't do it sort of ways. We're going to take the knee straight out to the side and back down. Now my pelvis, this bone right here, is trying not to move. All the movement is coming from the hip joint, making the femur move. So this stays still. Up goes the leg. Go ahead and take those. You might feel the urge to have your torso sway to counterbalance. I encourage you to minimize that as much as possible. Really keep this just the leg moving. And the other side. Now, if you feel like this leg is harder than the other one, that's because this leg is already tired because both legs are actually doing work here. So it's just already fatigued from doing it on the first side. Perfect. Take those knees wider than your hips. Press back, child's pose. Bring it back up. Let's do a little upper body just to keep us balanced here. We'll take one arm up and back down. Again, keeping the pelvis as still as possible. Really, really using those upper back muscles. This is great for assisting your posture. Let's do the other side. And let it go. All right, back to those legs. We're going to imagine having to hold up the ceiling. Now at the same time, we're going to hold up our tummy. So no sagging belly here. Tight tummy, tight glutes to lift that heel. Bring the knee forward. Press it up. Keep that belly button facing the floor. Don't let it rotate to the side. All right, now lengthen out the leg. Toe can touch the ground. And this time we are going to let the back assist, okay? So we are going to let ourselves arch as much as that feels safe for your back. Do keep the abdomen contracted. We're just not keeping it still any longer. So we'll lift the leg and the heart and back down to neutral. So notice which direction your kneecap is pointing, we're going to keep it pointing at the ground. You can take your leg much, much higher if it's pointing out to the side, but those are different muscles than what we're focusing on right now. So turn that kneecap downward. Excellent. Second leg, we're going to go bended knee, heel to the ceiling, knee to navel. There we go. And I know I rounded on that first one, but we're not going to. Torso as stable as we can. And long leg. We get to use our torso movement here. Lift and lower. Kneecap stays pointing down though. So even though your back gets to arch on this one, I still want you using those glute muscles, those hamstring muscles too. Excellent. Go ahead and lie down on your side. You could be on your elbow, on your arm, wherever's comfortable for you. But we're going to start with the knees at 90 degrees. So imagine that you were sitting in a chair that fell over sideways. From here, we're going to lift the upper leg, and just like before, our pelvis is still, it's just the leg moving. Because we use these muscles already, I can feel my leg cramping. All right, let's change it up. Feet stay together, clamshells. Nice. Now here's the funky one. Knee touches the ground. So this knee is here. I'm going to put that knee in front, and I'm going to get this shin as horizontal as possible, okay? It's going to try to get totally up and down, and then I'm going to use all of my strength to try and touch the ceiling with my toes. Now, because I also have to keep that shin up and down, that means that at some point I could go higher, but I would have to do this funky rotation thing with my hip, and my shin would no longer be vertical. So I don't want to go that far. All right, let it go. We're going to do a combination one this time. We're going to open like we did in the beginning, and then touch your toe down to the floor as close to your tail as you can, but really press it down. And then stretch that leg up as high as you can. Tight tummy. Think about pulling the leg in towards your hip as you slowly reach it away from your head. So it's going to go behind this leg. And then return it. So open, press down, reach up, pull in while you're stretching the toes away. and return. Last one. All right, keep these legs right here, but we're going to rotate the spine so that both of our shoulder blades are on the ground. Big twist, probably feeling the stretch right here where you just worked. So I like this little bit of percussion in there, helps those muscles chill out. Maybe that's not your thing and you just want a deep stretch, that's fine too. All right, lift the knees, bridge position. Slowly roll your back up, off the ground. Press down through the feet, press down through the arches. Imagine squeezing a ball between your legs. And roll it back down. Roll it down slowly. That way you get all that articulation between the vertebrae. We'll roll it back up. There you go. Get as much of that back off the floor as possible. So press your chest right up in towards your chin and back down. Last one. And back down. Excellent. Go ahead and roll to the other side, or I'm going to flip directions so I can keep an eye on you. But we're going to go to lying on the second side to do all this again. So, pelvis still, open and close. Take it to clamshells, feet stay glued together. And the funky one, top knee comes to the ground, shin vertical, as vertical as possible. Try to poke holes in the ceiling. Do not let this knee come forward. Now, when I first started doing this move, I could hardly get my knee off the ground at all. I mean, we're talking teeny, tiny movements. So if that's you, lift and hold. See if you can hold it for 10 seconds. That gives time for the chemical reaction to happen in your muscles for them to actually grow. This is my go-to for sciatic pain when I start to hurt like that. I know I've been weak here and neglecting these exercises. All right, let it go. Here's the combo one. We're going to open, touch down as close to the tail as you can get it, but press into that floor. Reach and reach. Return. One of the things that I love about this move here is this stretch that I get. Because if I'm pulling my heel back a little bit, I feel this stretch, which just doesn't happen on a daily basis very often. And it feels very relieving to the low back. Feels like I have more functionality in my hips. And that's the last one. Roll your upper body to the floor, the back of your upper body to the floor, shoulder blades on the ground. Again, do whatever you need to help stretch out those things we just worked. All right, go ahead and hips to the floor. We'll take our bridges. If you like to add your arms, just like we did earlier when we were on our shins, when the hips go up, the arms can reach down and return. Still making sure that we're isolating those tiny movements between each vertebrae. All right. Let's take our knees open wide. We're often quite tight in the inner thighs. Now there are two thoughts on how to assist yourself in relaxing into this pose. One is put a little weight on your legs, and the weight will encourage everything down further. There's another way, which is the opposite, and this is more of a, I forgot the word, but we're going to calm the nervous system first. We're going to do that by supporting the legs just a little bit, so it's still a stretch, but use your hands, or you can grab some blocks or something to give just a little bit of support under your legs. And often what happens is you notice that the muscles up here instantly relax, because in this position where you're really asking a lot of them to let go, they feel like they have to contract to strengthen you, to support you, to keep you from falling apart, right? And as soon as you go, no guys, I got this, you're supported, you don't have to do that, they go, oh, okay, we can let go a little bit. And then after maybe 30 seconds of that support, maybe you wiggle those blocks or that support out a little bit so that your legs are still supported, but just a teeny bit less. Just a little bit bigger of a stretch, still supported, and again, the inner thighs can let go. Reverse psychology, that's the word I was looking for. Do a little reverse psychology on your on your hips by saying, no, you don't need to open up that wide, I got you. And then they're like, oh, okay, and feel relaxed into it. All right, bring those legs back together. We're going to stretch our right heel up to the ceiling, and I really want you to press it up to the ceiling so that you're getting a good stretch up the back of the leg. If you need more stretch, you can grab that leg or grab that pant leg and pull it a little bit further. So my knee is wanting to bend here, so I'm putting a little support on my thigh to keep too much bend from happening. And with this arm, I'm actually pulling my leg down a little bit, pulling the femur bone deeper into the hip socket. It's a very safe way to stretch your hamstrings. All right, bend the knee, stick that ankle on the other knee, bring the whole lap up to you. Hold that lap however is comfortable and not going to make your shoulders cramp up. And let it go. We will switch sides. Left heel goes to the ceiling this time. Press through that heel. Whew, my leg's shaking. So that tells me that my nervous system is activated and a little bit scared. So my way to deal with that, since we're stretching and not doing like reps for contracting, I want my body to calm down. I'm gonna back off a little bit. I'm gonna keep doing my hamstring stretch, keep doing my calf stretch by pulling my toes back. It's just not gonna be so much. All right, take the heel to the other leg, pull the whole lap in towards you. If you're someone that tends to get crunched up in the shoulders, or you just want to take this pose a little bit more relaxed and deeper, one of my favorite ways to do this is to scooch close to a wall or piece of furniture. And this foot is going to be on that stable thing. The closer I get my rump to the piece of furniture or wall, the deeper the stretch is going to be. Maybe that means that my hips come off the floor a little bit. That's okay, because as my body lets go, gravity is going to continually increase the stretch for me. I don't have to do anything but sit back and listen to my music or read my book. And let it go. All right, let me check the time here. Oh, perfect timing. All right, go ahead and take any last movements or shapes that you would like to before your Shavasana, your relaxation pose that we do lying flat on our back. Please support yourself that way. That can be helpful if you tend to have low back pain if you're lying on your back. I do encourage you to, if whenever possible, lay on your back without a pillow. So a pillow will push your chin forward here. And what I would like to see is more of that chin coming back over your collarbone, opening up the chest, promoting good posture. And once you're here in this position, allow yourself to feel heavy. Allow the whole body to sink into the floor. From the back of your head, all the way down the spine, all the way down to your heels. Feeling heavy throughout the entire body. And now allow the sensation to switch. Feel light. Feel the lightness of your fingertips and your toes lifting off the ground. The lightness of your inhale, chest rising. Feel the lightness of your body barely touching the mat. And with this amount of lightness, it takes very little energy at all to find movement. Go ahead and stretch and move and explore this light feeling in the body. And eventually make your way up to sitting. We'll bring our hands to heart space and our thoughts to a place of gratitude. You're welcome to Om along with me on our exhale. Together we'll take a deep breath in. Thank you, ladies.